The only way to come back to our own nature, to live life with ease, and to transcend this state of me and mind and the bondage is through what? Self-knowledge. But don't you notice how you have moved effortlessly from infancy to childhood to young adult to middle age to old age? Just like that, there will be another drastic change, like Guruji said, change in wardrobe, another drastic change from one body to another body. Because the truth is, the moment you describe Brahman, it has become an object. So it can never be described. So it will go from neti neti. It is not, it is not, it is not. That is how we will have to reach what is. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyam param dhimahi. Hey, everybody back there. So, I don't think I need to recap, but you know the basic situation. Arjun just got through saying to the Lord, I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I am your disciple. You tell me clearly what to do. No, he's asking in no uncertain terms, clearly tell me what to do. And then he says, I will not fight, and puts down his bow and arrow, sits down and sits silently. Remember again, what are we talking about? He's now got delusion. He's talking about killing, bodies dying, people not being alive, not wanting the kingdom, all originating from a place of me and mine, attachment, right? Okay, so let's watch a short video from Gurudev as we enter into now Sankhya Yoga. To be honest, I don't know the clearest difference between I don't know the clearest difference between all the different philosophies. I will not get into it also. It's too big. But Sankhya Yoga is very close to Advaita, right? Vedanta. This is what we know. This is what we've been discussing. This is the path, Shankara's path, that Gurudev also has been taking us on through our journey with him. And loosely speaking, it's the path of intellect, Sankhya. You can understand it like this, loosely speaking, okay? And chapter 2 consists of the highest of knowledge to cross this ocean of samsara. What is samsara? What does that mean? We'll get into it as the Lord gives the verses one after another. But really, the situation that we've been talking about, how do we get out of this bondage where the mind gets caught up, me and mine, which leads to delusion, which leads to all the emotions, and we go down the path where we're in misery or bondage, right? So let's start with the video, chapter 2, part 2.
श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोच्यान् अन्वशोचस्त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. Shri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you grieve over those who should not be grieved for, and yet speak like the learned. Wise men do not sorrow over the dead or the living.
So, look, it seems like almost like a casual sort of verse, but there is something here. He's now defining what a wise is by the Lord's standard, not our standard. Who is a wise person? One who does not grieve over, read that exact sentence, Mala.
Wise men do not sorrow over the dead or the living.
You see that? So there's already a definition. Lord Krishna has given a definition. Arjun, you sound like a wise person, but who is actually wise? One who does not grieve over one who is dead or living. That is the standard with which Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. That's already established in this shloka. Now continue.
Nattvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatav param. In fact, there was never a time when I was not, or when you or these kings were not, nor is it a fact that hereafter we shall all cease to be.
Okay, so let's stop here for a second. It seems a little bit mind-blowing. We have to connect the dots between where Arjuna was and where the Lord is speaking. Arjuna was speaking about, I don't want the kingdom. I don't want to kill my people. What would be the point? In fact, he had even asked the question, we don't even know the outcome. I don't even know if it's good for us to lose or for us to win as the Pandavas. I don't even know if it's good for the Kauravas to win or lose. Remember that? That shloka was there maybe 5 or 6 stanzas ago. He's confused. He's in delusion. What is the delusion? He's talking about death. And from Arjuna's plane of perspective, there is no death. So somewhere these two have to connect. To me, at first glance, it seems like, wow, this guy put in a question in the question basket and the Lord gives him Brahmagyan. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It seems like such a huge discrepancy. Why would that be the case? Well, the Lord Krishna has already poked his ego, has already told him you should fight. Don't worry about it. You are a warrior. This is your duty. You should fight. That's already been said to him, but it's not registered. So somewhere what is happening is Arjun has become the instrument for not just himself, but for all of us, 5,000, however many years old, many number of people to receive the knowledge. That's one thing that's happened. He's become the instrument through which this knowledge is going to come. But also, it has been pointed out, or what we could learn to take away is when we're not in our dharma, in our role, Arjun is a warrior. What do you go to war for? What does a warrior get trained to do? To go to war. And that means it means having to kill people. He knows that. But towards the end, he spoke like a Brahmana. Like he's going to, I'd rather give up the kingdom than to kill. It's better for me to beg for my food and alms. Remember, how many of you remember that sutra? He's a warrior speaking like a Brahmin, a monk, I mean. So he's out of his nature. How often do we go out of our nature? And now the statement that's being made based on the response that Krishna Bhagavan is giving is the only way out of delusion. The only way to come back to our own nature, to live life with ease And to transcend this state of me and mind and the bondage is through what? Self-knowledge. Do you see the connection between where Arjuna leaves off and where the Lord himself is starting? Yes or no? That's the connection. The only way out of this misery, out of samsara, is this. Is to, number one, realize only the wise. If you're wise, you don't grieve for the dead or the living. There has never been a time where I have not been, these kings have not been, in fact, you have not been. So he's already starting to talk to Arjun about the higher self, the spirit, that you're more than this body. Don't worry about them, the kings and you and me. We are all anyway going to die. That's what he's saying. This body anyway is going to die. But who we really are has always been, they have always been, you will always be. Now continue to read. You have to connect the dots, okay? Arjun has already been guided through psychology, through poking the ego, telling him, come on, go with it. It didn't work. And now the Lord is deciding, okay, we have to move him out of this grief, out of this delusion, out of this me and my attachment. And the self-knowledge is being given. All right, continue.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Just as boyhood, youth, and old age are attributed to the soul through this body, even so it attains another body. The wise man does not get deluded about this.
Okay, so remember I used the word delusion. Arjuna is speaking as if he is wise, but the Lord himself has already said, but you are not wise. Why? The wise never grieve for the dead or the alive. And he also just said that the wise, they don't get caught up in this. Look at this sutra. Read the sentence again in English. It's read it again.
Just as boyhood, youth, and old age are attributed.
Stop. Boy, youth, and old age. How much change has our body gone through from infancy to young boy of 5, 7, 10 years old? There's drastic changes in the body. Yes, from the time we are born to just being 5 or 7 years old, drastic changes. From 5 or 7 to 15, when you're a teenager, a young girl who was 5 to 15, drastic changes. Forget just infant. Notice how much drastic change happens to the body. From 15 to adulthood, 35, 40, and then all the way to old age. They leave out middle age. Maybe they didn't think about it in those days, but they go from that directly to old age. Drastic changes happen in the body. But now ask yourself this question. Right now, we're not getting practical. The Lord is just giving the knowledge. Remember what Gurudev said, awareness of the knowledge. I think I called it the knowledge of the intellect, for the intellect, perhaps. So he's just telling him what is the truth. But let's just pause a second and think about it practically. You have gone through so many changes. When you look at your own picture, when I look at my picture of a young person, forget young person, when I joined Art of Living to today, when I was 25 to 62, there's drastic physical changes. Doesn't the mind also go through drastic changes? Yes or no? Yes. But do you feel like you have gone through drastic changes? Something in you, does it feel like it's gone through drastic changes or it's the same? A or B? Which one? Do you feel like you've gone through drastic changes inside? Yes or no? How many say yes? How many say no? Actually, you don't. You look at yourself in the mirror and you think you're the same. Your body has gone through drastic changes. But have you gone through drastic changes? Your mind has gone through drastic changes. You think one thing, you think a different thing. When you were an infant, you didn't think at all. You were just laying in bed, eating, pooping, and that's it, crying basically. And then there's drastic changes that have happened. But don't you notice how you have moved effortlessly from infancy to childhood to young adult to middle age to old age? Just like that, there will be another drastic change, like Guruji said, change in wardrobe, another drastic change from one body to another body. Look, you all look a little stoic. You have to process this. If you process this, something in you goes, wait a second, it's true. Like something speaks very loudly inside that says, oh, yeah. I look at myself, 5-year-old, I can't even recognize the body. But when I'm looking at that and I'm looking at myself, I see that the body has changed, but something in me doesn't feel very different. It feels the same as it ever did. And how seamlessly, how without any fear or worry or anxiety has the internal transition, as the external has changed, how the internal has moved with it, without any kind of challenge, problem, fear. And like that, Lord Krishna is saying, you will drop this body and move to the next body, what Gurudev called a change in wardrobe. Do you hear this? At this level, it's an experience. This is not even how to use the knowledge. Forget all of that. Put your intellect, awareness into this experience of, wow. Yeah, as soon as I had the ability to recognize myself, I look in the mirror. Yeah, I might see things physically different, but somehow I don't feel all that different. The classic example, you haven't traveled to somewhere, like I hadn't been to India for nearly 10, 12 years. And people who I had seen, kids that were like 1 or 2 or 5 years old, I saw them 12 years later. My whole being was like, wow, you guys have really grown up. You really changed. But I was saying it, the fact that I was saying it, the internal experience was, I haven't changed. You guys have changed. Have you not had this experience when you look at young people that you haven't seen for a long time? Something in you speaks and they look at you with such a look like, well, yeah, you too have changed and you don't feel that way. And they also look at you with this sense of, isn't it a little obvious? We didn't see you for 15 years. I was 5. I'm now 20 years old. Of course I've changed. I'm in college now. At that time, I was still, my mom's bottle and holding on to her sari. Do you see that? There's this knowledge. What the Lord just said is our experience. The other day, last Tuesday, because some portion of this Gurudev had mentioned previously, so I was doing something, and I invite you to do the same thing. I was looking in the mirror, and without moving the pupil or the head, I was taking my attention to different parts. Do you understand what I just said? So if you're just looking at me like I'm looking at you right now, I'm not moving my pupil or anything. I'm just looking. But now I just moved my attention to the bottom of the screen. And then I moved it to the top. And I see Antonia there. And yet I'm looking at you. And then in my head, I had this clear experience of, well, wait a second. Who is looking? The pupils were not moving. Attention was moving. And this clear thing is like, wait a second, Gurudev keeps saying, pragya, we in our nature, sat, chit, anand, we are awareness. Have you not heard Guruji say that? Pragya, we are what? Intelligence or awareness. And that moment, it's a glimpse. You're looking, you see things like I'm looking at you right now, but I see the chairs and the furniture behind, and I see you guys down there, and I see this person moving and that person moving and this person moving. I'm just looking. So then eyes are open. I didn't move my eyes anywhere. I didn't move my body anywhere. Just my awareness. I let it expand all the way to the, maybe that's what it means to be awareness, which is everywhere. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Yes or no? Nod your head somehow. It's something to experiment with, because then you'll say, wait, I'm not, it's not the eyes that are looking. Is it the mind that's looking? Well, okay, even that, you've stepped away from the drastic changes of the body, which answers Arjun's question. The body, it dies, it's born, but you are not. Whoever was looking outside of the eyes cannot be touched. Like Gurudev said, the fire, the air, the water, it cannot touch it, let alone destroy it. And it's that that moves from young, middle, old, new body. That's makes what the last sentence was. That frees you of fear. I don't know what I expect from you, but me, as I'm saying it even, and as I hear my whole system is like, my spine is pumping, like, oh my God. Are you hearing what I'm saying? This is profound to be aware of. And you have to let it in, you have to digest it. What is happening for me as a result of our conversation together Tuesday, I know that it seems like I'm the one doing the talking, but you stay with me between Tuesday to Tuesday. You know, what we discuss, whatever, some pieces stay with me and they sort of ruminate with me for the week. They linger in the background, you know, and it's important for you to do the same, to say, oh, wait, okay, let me carry that idea further. So read that last sentence in English again and then continue.
Just as boyhood, youth, and old age are attributed to the soul through this body, even so it attains another body. The wise man does not get deluded about this.
The wise man does not get deluded. That's why I said Arjun is deluded. He thinks there is death. He sees people, himself, what's me and mine, as the body. And to move him out, the Lord is now giving him this knowledge of the highest. Are you there? Together? Listening? Continue.
Matra sparshastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. O son of Kunti, the contacts between the senses and their objects, which give rise to the feelings of heat and cold, pleasure and pain, etc., are transitory and fleeting. Therefore, Arjuna, endure them.
Okay, so this, you know, how many times we have heard this on the advanced course, correct? Energy moves, energy up or down. Based on that, there are sensations in the body, heat or cold, but somehow take it back onto yourself. Everything is transitory. Happiness, joy, heat or cold. What is heat or cold? Something is good, something is bad. Depending on the person, we'll say, I like cold, I don't like cold. I like heat, I don't like heat. We go back and forth between craving and aversion. Like it, do not like it. Right and wrong. Good or bad. Read the sentence again.
O son of Kunti, the contacts between the senses and their objects, which give rise to the feelings of heat and cold, pleasure and pain, etc., are transitory and fleeting.
Okay, so this you only have to reflect. 1 minute you feel hot, 1 minute you feel cold. What you used to love at one point, you do not love today. What you like today, you may not like tomorrow. What you hated once, you become neutral to. Everything is transitory. including the body. Yes or no? We just talked about it. Infancy, childhood, adulthood, old age. Everything is transitory, so don't get caught up in it. But what do? We know this point, opposite values. We know this point, we latch on to one thing and then we try to hold on to that one thing. Even though, just like gravity is fixed in life, everything is transitory. This is also fixed in life. Do you go around fighting with gravity? Do we go? I would love to fly, really. I don't get up in the morning and start struggling with gravity. Darn it, I want to fly. Why are you here? Why doesn't this change? How do I make this change? That's how it is. That's how it is. I accept gravity. That is how it is. The sky is above me. That is how it is. Like this, it's all transitory. This is our truth, but we never pay attention to that which is transitory. Why not? Is it possible that something in us doesn't change and we're so somehow that it's even hard to accept all the changes that happen? Is that possible? These are questions for us to think about. Why? What does that do? It expands the mind into saying, okay, I'm more than this body. Okay, what am I latching onto? Okay, what am I really afraid of? What am I wanting to go to? What am I delusional about? Where am I not showing up into action? These things suddenly become much lighter if we really see, dig deep and say, yeah, I've something in me is the same. And yeah, it's true. You know, a rock will take 100 years to change, and a flower takes 1 day to change or 2 days to change. I take 70, 80 years or 60, 70 minutes. Whatever it is, I recognize that this body is changing, but somehow I still don't feel anything has changed. So maybe I'm not affected by all this. Maybe I'm in delusion, just like Arjuna is, thinking this body is going to die. They are going to die. I'm going to lose my people. I will be left alone. All the noise that comes with it maybe will quiet down. Are you hearing me? Not in here and out there, but like somewhere in here. I don't know how you hear it, but as I speak to you and as I hear Gurudev, and just because I want to communicate and share something with you, it immerses something deeper to say, oh my God. Keep reading.
Yam hi na vyathayanti te purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Arjuna, the wise man to whom pain and pleasure are alike and who is not tormented by these contacts become eligible for immortality.
So happiness, pain, and pleasure, to be equanimous. You know this point through and through. Opposite values coexist, but you are beyond those 2 points. They come and go. Happiness comes, it's there for some amount of time. We know some sort of discomfort, pain, lack of happiness, whatever you want to, will follow. And that will also change and something else will follow. Contact. Our senses, it's not context, it's contact. There's a question. Is it contact or context? The word is contact. Senses contact with their relative object. That creates sensations in the body. And then the mind interprets those sensations, judges those sensations as pleasant or unpleasant. And then we, the I, the small I, identifies to it, latches onto that experience and owns it. Did you guys just hear that last bit? Eyes see something. Eyes by themselves, are they inert or alive? The body by itself, inert? How many say inert? How many say alive, body by itself? It is not. Body, when we die, is a stone, piece of wood, basically. Correct? Life leaves, and then you see body for what body actually is. It's just that the life reflects upon that body, if you want, and animates it through the senses. You know, the five senses, the organ, the mobility organs, the internal organs, mind, intellect, chit, ego. These 19 organs get illuminated, enlivened through the self. But I'm jumping the gun. I'm sure that the divine will get to it. Lord Krishna will talk about it a little bit later. But it's very important that you realize what was just said. The senses connect to the relative object, like touch connects and touches something. Eyes see something. Ears hear something. The moment they contact the relative object, some sensation starts to happen, pleasant or unpleasant. Based on our impressions, the mind, the samskaras, interpret that sensation as good or bad, judge it as right or wrong, like it or dislike it. Then the ego, the small mind, owns the experience and says, I am that experience, versus it's happening. It's an experience in the body, not to the self. Clear? Yes? All right. Continue.
नासतो विद्यते भावः नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. The unreal has no existence and the real never ceases to be. The reality of both has thus been perceived by the seers of truth.
Okay, so this probably is one of the core verses in this chapter. One step at a time. The unreal has no existence. We're going to have to define by Krishna's perspective, the highest knowledge, what is real and what is unreal. What is existence? What is non-existence? What is truth? What is false? What is dream? What is reality? You can say it in all these 4 or 5 different ways, but are we clear what we're talking about? Sat, asat. Okay, so read that entire sentence again, and then let's talk about this. That's what this verse is about. It's a clear identification of what is sat and what is asat. What is asat we should define? What is sat we should define? What is reality? What is dream? What does all this mean? That is where this verse comes in. Go.
The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases to be. The reality of both has thus been perceived by the seers of truth.
Okay. So that last sentence is, the enlightened, the rishis, the sage have perceived this, the experience that he's speaking about. All right. If something is non-existent, is there any point in talking about it? Yes or no? See, a lot of people say the world is mithya, meaning does not exist. How many say that? Non-existent. Raise your hand and wave. Look how many people say that. But what do you mean it does not exist? Don't you, if I say this is a phone, this is my body, are you going to say it doesn't exist? Of course I'm here. No, this is here. I see you guys on the screen. So then I can say you are not here, just your image is here. That is true. But at some point, you do exist, do you not? Yes or no? So it's not correct to say the world is non-existent. It does exist. So we have to define what is Sat and what is Asat by the highest knowledge, not the way we understand it, not how we interpret truth and false and existence or non-existence. So what exists always exists. Let's look at it like this. Before, during, and after it exists. If I say, all right, this is the challenging part for us to really understand, and explain. Let's first look at Asat. Asat is what? It did not exist before. And it might not exist after, but it did exist. What am I talking about? What's an example of that? A dream, for instance. Before you have a dream, did it exist? Before you have a dream, did it exist? No. And then you have a dream. When you had the dream, did it exist? Yes. When you had the dream, it existed. In fact, your heart beats, it leaves an impact, you're afraid, there's an emotion, chemistry in the body has changed. But then when you wake up, does it exist later? Yes or no? No. This is mithya. It's false. Before and after, it does not exist. During, it is. It was not, it is, and it will not be. It is not in the future. This is what he's saying is unreal. What does that mean? It's a temporary existence. Now apply that. Apply this for a second. Temporary existence. Is your body, does it exist? Yes. Before 1962, that's when this body was born, did it exist? No. And then, I don't know, 2026, I don't know, whatever. When I die, quote, when the body dies, will it exist? Yes or no? No. So is it just like a dream? It exists while it's there, but before it did not, and after it does not. Happiness. Moment before you felt happy, did it exist? No. Then you experience happiness. But then does it change? Yes. Then it doesn't, it's no longer happiness, maybe it's boredom. Do you see what he's saying? He's saying the same thing. He's just building on each sentence, each line. He's going a little bit further. Are we together, Alan? Are you guys hearing what I'm saying to you? You cannot say that the dream is not real, as in it does not exist. A dream does exist. But before you had the dream, it is not. And after the dream is over, meaning when you wake up, it is not. Therefore, it is asat, false. Not that it's not existent. This state of consciousness, where it can exist momentarily, and momentarily can be as short as a dream, or like a mountain, many years, or this body, 50, 80, 90, 100 years, or a state of happiness, or a state of sadness, or a state of a thought, or an opinion, or a like, or a dislike. Are you with me? Sat is what? See, let's stay with asat, false. Asat has a timeline then to it. It gives with it a sense of past, present, and future. Does it not? Sat existed, exists now, exists then. So you do not say past, present, or future. You say existence. Sat. See, in front of me is chair is, table is, microphone is, computer is, cell phone is. Is means existence, correct? Exists. There's two things. There's the name and form, and then there is the support, the existence within which the name and form is. Wake up. Are you listening? Wake up. Cell phone is. Cell phone, name and form. Name and this form. Is where in that locality of space, quote space, existence is what I mean. Cell phone is, chair is, Rajshree is, table is, computer is. These things exist in two ways. See, we never remember the second aspect of our existence. We only recognize the name and the form. The existence upon which this name and form exists, we don't remember. Okay, you walk into a room. The room has two things, the space and the table, correct? When you walk into the room, what do you see? The space or the table? The table. You do not see the existence. A room is what? Space. You can put things into that space, the objects in there, and no matter how empty or how full the room is, you do not see the roominess. Isness is not recognized. Roominess is not recognized, but roominess is always there. So now, are you guys awake? Are we hearing? Are we talking here? See, if there's only a chair in the room, we do not see the space between, next to, on either side of the chair. It's the space on either side that allows you to see the chair. You don't see the chair and say, oh, there is space on both sides. That's not what you say. But the space on both sides says, oh, there's a chair. If I remove the walls, will the roominess have disappeared? No. If I stuff the room with every tiny little space, will the roominess have disappeared? No. The roominess is the support within which the object, chair and table, even the wall, this body exists. Are you hearing me? If I go to a lake and I stand at the shore and you see the reflection in the water, is the reflection sat or asat? Sat or asat? Asat, false. But the reflection is there, correct? You cannot say reflection doesn't exist. It is there. But it did not exist before I stood there. And when I walk away, it will not exist there. And even when I'm standing there, because the water is continuously moving, it's not the same reflection. But unfortunately, we forget even the body, the person standing at the shore is not the same body because it's continuously changing. But for this metaphor, for this example purpose only, the truth is the person standing, the reflection is the asat. Just for this small limited example, correct? It needs a surface for the truth to express itself. It needs some base. So are you seeing eventually where this would go? The reflection and the person at the shore. It needs either a water or a mirror or something, without which the reflection cannot exist. Right? Okay, let's look at it like this. The way we describe truth, that which is existence. You have the clear, we have existence, consciousness, and bliss. These are the three qualities that are given to Brahman. Mind you, Krishna Bhagwan has not described these qualities yet. He will, I suppose, later. But he has not yet described the qualities. But for right now, notice that existence, this one quality indirectly, is being established. What is real and what is unreal in this definition, he is establishing existence, one that is always is, right? That is being established. Correct? This sutra, we will have to spend the next session on some more time, but at least if you start to think about it between now and then, look in the mirror like I asked you to do, think about, like, really close your eyes. Why we do the immortality meditation? No, you go through, remember when you were 19 and 10 and this and this, and you're watching. Somewhere in you are watching the whole thing. There is object-subject relationship to your body. The body being the object and something else being the subject. It has not yet been determined by God. He has not outright said this is something that always is, because the truth is, the moment you describe Brahman, it has become an object. So it can never be described. So it will go from neti. It is not, it is not, it is not. That is how we will have to reach what is. Am I clear? The moment I say two, I have said, right? One. But if I say one, I have said two. Like that, if I say Brahman is, either it's redundant or I have turned Brahman into an object. And we are saying the subject is real, is Brahman, is now and forever. These are not words that really could be used, and I do not have the, the nuance, but you do hear what I'm saying, correct? Yes, no? It brings a lot of energy, at least to me, doesn't it? Something in you, doesn't it feel a little like pumping? Just consider this reality. To get to the truth, we will have to know what is false. Because directly addressing the truth is not possible. It becomes an object. So this is why we are saying asat, get very clear on. To the degree possible, experience it. You go to sleep, every portion of your identity is gone. Correct? It's gone. And when you wake up in the morning, the body is not the same as when it went to sleep. Your thoughts have changed, even emotions has changed. Everything has changed. The moment, okay, you are married, you're a wife, a husband, a partner. You divorce. What changed? Are you a wife now or not? Do you see? If you say the foundation is a woman, then let's assume that's the truth, right? Brahman, woman is the base. Then there's a daughter, there's a friend, there's a sister, there's a mother, there's an aunt, there's a devotee, there is citizen. Do all these people exist? Is there a mother? Is there a daughter? Is there a sister? Are there 10? Do they exist? Yes or no? There's just this. The moment my mother leaves and you come in front, am I a daughter now still? No. I was a daughter for the moment and then gone and then this. Now I'm a colleague. Do you see what I'm saying? But we behave as if those things are separate entities. Do we not in life? To the degree that we are attached, we behave like we're a separate entity. How can you say that? Me as a mother, well, it's one little piece. What do you mean, me as a mother? You don't even, it's all of you that's encompassed into that ball game called mother. Or father, or son, or daughter, or uncle, whatever it is, boss. No? And then you have to say, hey, listen, you're home now. You're not my boss now. But can't get them to shift that. What is real? Meaning, what is sat and what is asat? Look into life like that. And when you start to look, then somewhere you don't hold the grip, the identity. I'm not for or against any of these things. We're just talking the highest truth of self and identity. Oh, my sexual orientation, I'm a it, I'm a they, I'm a us, I'm a he, I'm a she. I get all of that, but how much are you identified to that? Those things also change. And if we start to really dig into it, then maybe the grip of holding on to the children gets a little looser. Maybe holding on to the role as, whatever it is, gets a little looser. And maybe we also say, wait a second, this stuff comes and goes, but I feel the same Okay, who am I? This becomes the sadhana. We again and again and again hear, do sadhana, do sadhana, do sadhana. And we translate sadhana just to mean this. Who am I? Be happy. Guruji repeatedly says, be happy. This is a sadhana. When are you supposed to apply that? When everything is going poo-poo, you have to find a way to be happy. That is sadhana. How are you going to do that? It's what Gurudev said. Awareness, the knowledge. Sankhya is the awareness, the intellect, the understanding, the awareness of what is and is not. Um, I wish I could hear you guys or something. You look a little stunned, and that's okay. I just hope that I'm clear to the degree that is possible, of course. I'll say one last sentence, which is the important piece, I think, here. Gurudev began the session with saying, people hear about the self. They read about the self. They even have ascharya. Wow, wonder, oh my God. But nobody knows it. Hardly, I don't know. We only know of Gurudev. Isn't it? The way to know the self, as he says, is to go deep in the meditation. So this piece we mustn't forget, to do our sadhana, to be very regular in meditation. And meditation becomes deep if at least we have the awareness of sat and asat. What am I really holding? It's fleeting. It didn't exist before. It will not exist few moments, 10 years, 10 minutes from now. Why am I obsessing? Let it be. Okay, I'll meditate. It allows us to go deeper inward into meditation. Okay, it's 7:18. I will read through the chats in a bit. Let's just close our eyes for a moment. Those who need to go, our session officially is over. The rest can stay. I'll go through at least the chats and maybe take a couple of questions. All right, eyes closed. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyam param dhimahi. Jai Gurudev. God bless.